Hare Krishna, Suma Mataji. Dandavat pranams. Suma Mataji.
Hare Krishna, yes Mataji, Dandavat pranams.
Could you start Kirtan Mataji till the speaker joins?
Okay Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Thank you Mataji. Suma Mataji, you can start Mataji.
Hare Krishna, okay Mataji, I'm very sorry. Jai Srila Prabhupada, Jai Gaurnitai. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Vrindavan, Shri Govinda Gopinatha Madana Mohan, Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan, Kalindi Jamuna Jaya Jaya Mahava, Keshi Gata Vamshi Bata Vadashakana, Jaha Sabalila Koilo Shri Nanda Nanda, Shri Nanda Jashoda Jaya Jaya Gopagan, Shri Damadi Jaya Jaya Dhenuvatsagan, Jaya Vrishabhanu Jaya Kirtida Sundari, Jaya Purnamasi Jaya Abhiranagari, Jaya Jaya Gopishwara Vrindavanama, Jaya Jaya Krishna Sakha Vatu Dvijara, Jaya Rama Ghata Jaya Rohini Nanda, Jaya Jaya Vrindavana Basiva Jataja, Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan, Shri Govinda Gopinatha Madana Mohan, Shri Rasa Manda Jaya Dvija Patni Jaya Naga Kanyaga, Bhakti Tejahara Pailo Govinda Chara, Shri Rasa Mandala Jaya Jaya Radha Shyam, Jaya Jaya Rasa Leela Sarva Manora, Jaya Jaya Jwala Rasa Sarvarasa Sa, Parakiya Bhave Jaha Brajite Pracha, Shri Janava Pada Padma कोरिया स्मर दीन कृष्ण दासा को हे नाम संकीर्ता जय राधे जय 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 वृंदावन श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे। श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय। श्री जय जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा माई अनंत गुरु वृंद की जय। थैंक यू सो मच माता जी। दंडवत प्रणाम टू ऑल माता जी एंड प्रभु। हरे कृष्ण।
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Premdita Gaur Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Dandut pranams from all devotees. You may start, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Mataji. I'll just
Hare
try to
Krishna.
see if I can. I just got a mridangam brought
Okay,
from
Prabhuji.
Mayapur. Yeah. So I'm just trying my hand on the mridangam. So please excuse me if I don't play well. But
Okay, Prabhuji.
I very fortunate that the devotee I got it parceled from some shop in Mayapur. They gave me and it reached me on Prabhupada Jayanti. So I'm very
Okay,
happy.
Prabhuji. Very blessed, Prabhuji.
So
Hare
I don't
Krishna.
know if my mridangam will be audible, but I think I'm just trying to learn and play so that I get confidence. All right.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Sorry to interrupt you. Your video is not seen, Prabhuji. Just
Sorry.
checking.
Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Is it okay
Prabhuji.
now?
Hare Krishna. Dandut pranams. Yes,
Yeah.
Prabhuji. Sure. Pranam, Prabhuji.
Pranam. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Yashodanandan Braj Jana Ranjana Yashodanandan Braj Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jayo Radha, Ras Bihari Radha, Ras Bihari Radhe. Jayo Radha, Ras Bihari Radha, Ras Bihari Radhe. Jayo Radha, Govind Radha, Govind Radhe. Jayo Radha, Govind Radha, Govind Radhe. Jayo Radhe, 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 Jayo Shri Radhe. Radhe 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 Govind Radhe 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 Govind Radhe. गोविंद बोलो हरि गोपाल बोलो, गोविंद बोलो हरि गोपाल बोलो, राधा रमण हरि गोविंद बोलो, राधा रमण हरि गोविंद बोलो, गोविंद बोलो हरि गोपाल बोलो, गोविंद बोलो हरि गोपाल बोलो, राधा रमण हरि गोविंद बोलो, राधा रमण हरि गोविंद बोलो. जय जगन्नाथ, जय जगन्नाथ, जय जगन्नाथ स्वामी, जय जगन्नाथ, जय जगन्नाथ, जय बलदेव सुभद्रा माई, जय सुदर्शना, जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथगामी, नयन पथगामी बाबा तुम्हें, जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथगामी, नयन पथगामी बाबा तुम्हें, जयो नरसिंहदेव, नरसिंहदेव, नरसिंहदेव जय, नरसिंहदेव जय, प्रहलाद महाराज जय, भक्त प्रहलाद, प्रहलाद महाराज जय, भक्त प्रहलाद जय, गौरनिताय, गौरनिताय, गौरनिताय जय, गौरनिताय, निताय गौरा हरि बोल, हरि बोल, हरि बोल, निताय गौरा हरि बोल, जय जय प्रभुपाद, प्रभुपाद, प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद, जय जय गुरुदेव, गुरुदेव, गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव, हरे कृष्णा, हरे कृष्णा, कृष्णा कृष्णा, हरे हरे, हरे रामा, हरे रामा, राम राम, हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा, कृष्णा कृष्णा, हरे हरे, हरे रामा, हरे रामा, राम राम, हरे हरे, हरे राम संकीर्तन की जय. Hare Krishna, just a feedback. Was it audible, Mridangam? Or it was
No,
not?
Prabhuji.
No?
It was not, Prabhuji. Probably,
Oh my.
Prabhuji, you're wearing the earphones, no, Prabhuji?
Yeah.
If you removed the earphones, probably we could have heard it.
I wish.
Because
No,
the
actually,
microphone is muting it.
yeah, actually,
Outside sound.
this has the tendency. This is given
Oh,
by my office. This has the tendency to
to
delete all
clockwise.
the external sounds. Maybe probably that's
Yes,
one.
Prabhuji.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I never knew that.
That's okay, Prabhuji.
I could realize, but I thought maybe next time I have to buy another earphone, then I can remove this. Anyway.
Yes, right.
But it was a wonderful Kirtan, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. We enjoyed.
Without Mridangam, you liked it. I'm surprised.
Yes,
Of course,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji. Harinam Sankirtan is always blissful.
Oh, yeah, of course.
At least it had the rhythm, Prabhuji.
Okay. I got Mridangam from, I don't know if it was visible or not, but probably Mridangam playing also is very good. It helps. But anyway. All right. So I have been given the shlokas Srimad Bhagavatam 3.6.1 to 4. So Coordinator Mataji, is it correct? 3.6.1 to 4.
Yes, yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
Okay. So today we'll be reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Status Quo, Chapter 6, text 1 to 4. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam. Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tadojayam Udirayet. Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. Okay. So the first shloka. Rishiruvacha iti tamsam swashaktinam satinanam sametyam saha prasuptalokatantranam nishamya gatimishvaraha iti tamsam swashaktinam satinam asametayas saha prasuptalokatantranam nishamya gatim ishvaraha. Translation. Before that, synonyms. Rishi Uvacha means the Maitreya Rishi, and he's talking to Vidura. And iti means thus, tasam or tasam is their swasaktinam, own potency, satinam, satinam or satinam, so situated, asametaya, without combination, saha, he the Lord, prasupta, suspended, and loka tantranam, in the universal creations, nisamya, hearing, gatim, progress, ishvara, the Lord. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So Rishi Maitreya said, the Lord thus heard about the suspension of the progressive creative functions of the universe due to non-combination of his potencies, such as the Mahatattva. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. There is nothing wanting in the creation of the Lord. All the potencies are there in a dormant state. But unless they are combined by the will of the Lord, nothing can progress. The suspended progressive work of creation can only be revived by the direction of the Lord. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Agyantimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mayam Dadati Swapadantikam Bandeham Shri Guru Shri Uda Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Ragunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanavitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpade Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishnabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalptarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhye Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Adi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langyayate girim yat kripatamaham bande Shri Guru Dinatarinam. Saver Krishna Padara Vindayor, Saver Krishna Padara Vind. श्रीमती राधा रानी की जय, शिला प्रभुपाद की जय, गो प्रेमानंदे हरे. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for joining this discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam. So, as we know, we are reading the Canto 3, the status quo of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 6, where a conversation between Maitri Muni and Vidura is being discussed. And Parikshit Maharaj is hearing it very attentively from Shukdev Goswami. And so, with this, there is a layer of understandings which are being delivered to Parikshit Maharaj. Atato Brahma Jigyasa, everybody is knowledgeable, but still everybody at all the time should seek for knowledge, because Krishna is unlimited. And so as reading Bhagavatam and hearing Bhagavatam by a very big Mahabhagavata, and hearing it from even bigger Mahabhagavata is amazing. So this potential transferring of knowledge is known as Shaktipat, transferring of power. That means I am giving you knowledge. When somebody reads Srimad Bhagavatam, the Srimad Bhagavatam knowledge is like a power which is gained by another person who hears it attentively and then practices it and then reads it and give it to other. Then he shares this power of knowledge. And so power of knowledge helps us to understand this sonam bonum of this creation. And so it helps us to come out of our own misunderstandings and own problems of our life, and helps us to live a balanced life. Ignorance is bliss for a small time period. You didn't know that snake which you thought was a rope you just passed by was actually really a snake. So had you known that rope which you thought was a rope but was actually a snake, you would have changed your route. That's the difference. So you are going some track and you see some snake and you think it is rope and you just keep walking, and snake doesn't do anything to you and you don't do anything to snake. But the moment you move 15 meters ahead and then you look behind and then the rope moves and you feel, oh, it was a serpent, snake. So that's how knowledge is blissful for a small period of time, but ignorance is blissful for a small period of time, but knowledge is very important. And that is why the reason 7 days before he's hearing Bhagavatam, just so that he can perfect his life with knowledge. And so Maitreya Muni and Rishi Maitreya and Vidura are discussing, wherein he says that he heard that the suspension of the progressive creation functions of the universe due to non-combination of potencies such as Mahat Tattva. So he's telling about the suspended progressive work of creation that can be created under the direction of Lord. Now, Lord and all the souls of the Lord were very happy in Goloka. But we know that time immemorial, there are always some souls who develop casual tendencies towards the Lord. Oh, he's just a Lord, so what? So it can be in the form of Irsha, which is or Ahankara, that I am enough of Krishna. So we know that this creation is created. And then we read from Bhagavatam and so many other places that this construction and destruction process begins. So this is an internal construction and destruction process. Sarvabhutani kaunte prakartiyanti mamikam kalpakshay punastani kalpado vrishyamiham. In every kalpa, the beginning of kalpado, there is a creation. The material world is created, and so many from the pores of Vishnu, these universes are being created and destructed. In the every shwas where he is exhaling out, a lot of universes are coming out, and whichever universe there is a glance of Mahavishnu falls on it, the Prakriti starts working around, and the Brahma from the nubital knot of the Vishnu goes and starts creating, and the first thing which he creates is illusion. So all this is creation, but this is destructed also. So here we know that the qualitatively the creation of the chit potency of the Lord. Now the Lord is Sat, Chit and Ananda. And so in this, all the energies of the Lord play and create this illusion of creation and destruction. Now illusion is because this is temporary, but yet the process of creation, and so each thing, each universe which is created is temporary, but this process of creating universes is almost like permanent. So it is said that in Bhagavad Gita also we read that paras tasmat tu bhavo anyo vyakto vyaktat sanatana yaha sa sarveshu bhuteshu nasyastu na vinashyati. So what it means is that the spiritual potency or the spiritual nature of the word of the Lord, which is Sat, Chit and Ananda. Sat is the Sanatana, the eternal part, the Chit, which is conscious, and Ananda, enjoying part, is never annihilated. Na vinashyati. Uska kabhi vinash nahi. And that is why, if you notice, we, even in material world, nobody can claim there is no tomorrow. Tomorrow, there will be no tomorrow. Although they say tomorrow never comes, because tomorrow when it comes, it becomes Aaj, means today. So today, tomorrow, which is going to be, I think, 13th, if today is 12th. So 13th is going to become present. So tomorrow never comes, they say, but tomorrow comes in the form of today. And so nobody in this world can claim that I am so unhappy that I can never be happy. I am so poor that I can never be rich. I am so not in knowledge, I'm so unknowledgeable or illogical, or whatever the right word is, that I am so unknowledgeable that I can never become a knowledgeable person. So there is no dead end in this process. Nobody, you can say, can never become a devotee. And so as reverse. And if a devotee says, I can never become a non-devotee, that is his ahankara. The moment he thinks that he is a devotee is his ahankara. Because devotee means that the person for whom you are devoted has to accept you as a devotee. That is God. If God doesn't consider you as devoted to him, then how can you claim that you are a devotee? And that is why God and his devotees, they say, no chena lakshana, means there are symptoms of a devotee. And sometimes you, like a mriga, Kasturi mriga, who does not know that the fragrance is coming out from him. So as devotee does not know the beauties of his own devotional nature. Others tell him, oh, you are so beautiful. Oh, you are so knowledgeable. Oh, you are so caring. Oh, you are like this. Oh, you are like that. And then they promote him to some good man. Oh, you have such a good management technique. Why don't you become our temple president? Oh, why don't you become our Bhakti Vriksha leader? Oh, why you don't? Oh, you know so much of knowledge. I am blessed to hear from you. Why don't you tell me some katha? So like that, others. But in Kali Yuga, it is reverse. You have to project yourself at times. You go to a city and nobody knows that you have come as a devotee, then how will the temple call you for a class? So you have to tell yourself. In a way, you have to sell yourself for Krishna. That is also a way of humbleness. And so you have to be very careful that people should not keep giving classes, as I always have understood in 23, 24 years in ISKCON. Don't always try to give, speak. Actually, Radhanath Maharaj says a devotee seldom speaks. That means he says seldom gives classes. 90% he hears. So his 90% devotee is reflected from the way he behaves. And 10% is only when he opens the mouth. So Radhanath Maharaj has a couple of quotes in his Nectar of Drops book. And that is why this is very important. So we are all eternal beings. But these eternal beings have a superior nature. And we are being given an inferior energy, which is this material world. Maya Shakti, which is creation of Maya Shakti, which is created and destroyed. So we do dohan, paradohan. Dohan means to exploit. Because we cannot exploit in the spiritual world, because there the tendencies of the eternally liberated are without even questioning. We can't even describe how is the eternal devoted devotee is. But the preachers like me and all of you and all, I heard in one of the class, we are basically the Madhyam Adhikaris, because we are playing with the material and spiritual world like a pendulum of a clock. So most of the preachers become nostalgic preachers, means they hear, they read, and then they make mistakes, and then they say, I will want to tell others not to make mistakes. So preaching business is just a business of you reminding yourself that don't commit that mistake, Premdata, which you made last year. So I will tell others that don't do this mistake, is nothing but preaching. Preaching is nothing more than telling others not to make that mistake which I have made. So the moment you see a preacher sitting here is the one who is actually doing a lot of mistakes. Not that he's doing continuously every day, but that's the way it has to be taken. That he has to be very careful whatever he's saying. He should preach what he's practicing. And practice abhyasenu tu kante vairagyan chikriyayet. So like this whole creation is basically for being created to be destructed. And that is what the discussion going between Vidura and Maitreya Muni, that Maitreya tells him that, look, because there was a progressive creation functions also brought in by the Lord, this suspended progressive work of creation can only be revived by the direction of the Lord. So the question what Parikshit Maharaj had asked Shukdev Goswami was that how this creation has happened. And so he is bringing the various conversations which Shukdev Goswami remembers among the devotees. And that is why he is bringing these points. That whatever you see, Parikshit, even Maitreya is explaining to Vidura, that look how this process of the universe creations are all nothing but the creation of the Lord. This process is being created by the Lord, is being suspended by the Lord, and then being revived. So there are three elements of this entire process. One is the Lord initiates the fire. He maintains the fire and he annihilates the fire, and then he revives the fire. And in this process, this fire is a symbolic representation of the entire universe, what I am talking about, and which not I am talking about, Bhagavatam is talking about. And then he says that this work of creation can be only revived by the direction of the Lord. Now, we already know Maya Adhyakshena Prakriti means Krishna is the Adhyaksha, is the president, is the presiding power above this entire Prakriti of the material world, which is inclusive of everything below the Viraja river. Above the Viraja river, if you see the universal diagram, the Viraja river is the one which divides the spiritual world to the material world. And above the Viraja river is the Sadashiva Dhama. Above that is the Ayodhya Dhama, and then the Madhurya Dhama, and then the Goluka Dhama. Some maybe Madhurya little below, and then Ayodhya, and then Goluka. But that you can look to the universal diagram. So above the Viraja river is also maintained by Krishna, but that is permanent. But below the Viraja river, everything gets annihilated and created and annihilated and created. And that is where these two big personalities are talking about the all the potencies during this destruction and creation. They're also talking about the dormant state. It is said that when one universe is populated by all the souls and they are working towards their resurrection, and that universe has to be annihilated. So there is a Samavartaka Varsha happens and all. It's a huge thing. And so the souls, they are put into Mahavishnu. I don't want to get into all technical. You read it. Actually, you should know it because it's part of our philosophy. But I generally feel that simply knowing this much, that Krishna is there and he has created such a huge world, and I'm such a tiny soul, as it is stuck with my own problems in my family and my household, what to talk about the problems in the entire universe, what to talk about so many souls, and I go to the temple and help people to learn things. I'm becoming a devotee and I'm trying to help others. Too much to take it. Let me be very frank. Too much for a small life to take it. In Kali Yuga, we have hardly effective life of 30 to 35 years. 20 years is just gone to understand what is this world about. And next 20-25, you next spend some years for your family, and then next few years to just rear those families, and then see yourself dwindled after this material, from this material world, and you see your exit coming very quickly. So where is the time to look into these problems? And that is why try to read this philosophy, try to know them, as how I also try to make an attempt. But more important is that we know it, so that knowledge is knowledge, so that nobody is able to shake us. At the same time, we make use of this knowledge to understand that I want to go away from this temporary process of destruction and construction and go to a place which is permanently existing. And that is why this progressive work of creation and destruction is painful. Krishna himself says it is painful. And that is why he doesn't want you to stay in a place which is of fire. So fire is not even in terms of just the senses which are burning us, our body. in the form of desires. Desires hit us, we don't know which desire to do, and we try to desire something which is not good, so we burn ourselves. So that is one burning. But Krishna is saying that you are already burning because you are wasting your time in this material world. So quickly understand that you are not supposed to be part of this progressive work of creation and destruction in this part, and go to the Ekpad Vibhuti, which is completely calm and cool and never sees this creation and destruction, which is the spiritual world. So with this, I will try to bring some more points. Let's have some coordinator Mataji give some more chance to other devotees to read the shlok, and in between I will. So we'll go to 3.6.2.
Prabhuji, actually, if you permit, what we do is we read the shloka also, translation also, and whatever you want to be read, we can ask the Matajis to read, Matajis and Prabhujis, and you can do the
So
explanation.
that is what I have been doing for several classes now. Is
Yes.
that
Prashanti Mataji.
please give chances to both Matajis and Prabhujis all the shlokas.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Feel input.
Sure.
Shall I read Mataji?
Yeah.
Yes,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna. Kalasanyam tada devim viprachaktim gurukramaha त्रयोविंशति तत्त्वानां गानं युगपद आविसर. Translation by Prabhupada Ki Jai. The Supreme Powerful Lord then simultaneously entered into the 23 elements with the goddess Kali, his external energy, who alone amalgamates all the different elements. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Mother. Hare Krishna, Dhanavad Pranam.
One paragraph each devotee can read, and Prabhu's also. I request Prabhu's also to come forward.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Oh, purport no Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Hi. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The ingredients of matter are counted as 23. The total material energy, false ego, sound, touch, form, taste, smell, earth, water, fire, air, sky, eye, ear, nose, tongue, skin, hand, leg, evacuating organ, genitals, speech, and mind. All are combined together by the influence of time and are again dissolved in the course of time. Time, therefore, is the energy of the Lord and acts in her own way by the direction of the Lord. This energy is called Kali and is represented by the dark, destructive goddess generally worshipped by persons influenced by the mode of darkness or ignorance in material existence. In the Vedic hymn, this process is described as Moola Prakriti Aviktir Mahadadyaha Prakriti Vikritaya Sapta Shodashakas Tu Vikaro Na Prakritir Na Vikriti Purushaha. The energy which acts as material nature in a combination of 23 ingredients is not the final source of creation. The Lord enters into the elements and applies his energy called Kali. In all other Vedic scriptures, the same principle is accepted. In Brahma Samhita 5.35, it is stated, Ekopyasau rachayitum jagadanda kotim yachaktirasti jagadanda chayaya dantaha andantarasta paramanu chayantarastam govindamati purusham tamaham bhajami. I worship the primeval Lord Govinda, who is the original personality of Godhead. By his partial plenary expansion, Mahavishnu, he enters into material nature and then into each and every universe as Garbhodakashayi
Thank you, Mataji.
and then as Kshirodakashayi Vishnu into all the elements, including every atom of matter. Such manifestations of cosmic creation are innumerable both in the universes and in the individual atoms. Similarly, this is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 10.42. Atava bahunaitena kinyatena tavarjuna vishtabhyaham idam krishnam ekamshena sthito jagat. O Arjuna, there is no necessity.
Thank you, Mataji. Can we request Krishnamurti Prabhu to read the next?
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Krishnamurti Prabhuji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare-
Perfect.
Yes, Prabhuji. From Arjuna, there is no necessity of your knowing about my innumerable energies.
Okay, Mata. Hare Krishna. Perfect by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki jai. Oh Arjuna, there is no necessity of your knowing about my innumerable energies, which act in various ways. I enter into the material creation by my partial plenary expansion, Paramatma, or the super soul, in all the universes and in all the elements thereof. And thus the work of creation goes on. The wonderful activities of material nature are due to Lord Krishna, and thus he is the final cause or the ultimate cause of all causes. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol. So very nice. What do we learn from here is that Krishna himself is saying, you saw that in the purport. He says, what is the point of you knowing so many of my multi energies? But very simple. This Krishna is known as Shaktiman. He's the Shaktiman. He's the he's the energy. He's the energy giver. He's the primeval Lord. He's Prashantam, completely peaceful. Abhayam, completely fearless. Avishokam. There is no Vishok in him. There is no sadness. So he's Kevalabhyam, one without a second. And he's the seed-giving father for all of us. Now we are also his energy. Now, what is the difference between us, Krishna, us, and the other energies? We are also energies of Krishna because we are from him only. Mamai Vamsho Jiva Lokeshi Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. So please understand that Krishna has energies. They emanate from him. And we are his part and parcels. And so we are stuck in this world by various energies. And we are flabbergasted. We are attracted. And we are captured and captivated by several energies of the Lord. Those energies are in the form of this material world, in the form of gold, in the form of gold means elements, which you see, in the form of this nature, Prakriti. Some people are so much in awe of going to jungles. Some souls are so captivated by cars. Some people are captivated by money. Some people are captivated by leisurely pleasures of life. But the essence to understand this is that the soul is the kinetic energy. Soul is the energy, which is on top of which this, because of our desire, the covering of the body takes the form. I have a desire to enjoy sex life. Prabhupada gives this example. So this multifarious energy of the Lord is so great that it will, next birth, I will be promoted. I should not say promote. For me, it will be promotion because I'm seeking sexual desires. So I'll be given a body of a pigeon. So I feel on a bodily platform, I'm being promoted by the energy. That's promotion. You wanted higher salary, you were made a project manager, you were made a senior project manager. So given more responsibility, even more hard work, even more tensions, so even more salary, and you feel you will enjoy, so even more enjoyment. Same way, I'll be because of my three modes of material nature, because of my desire, I'll be given a body of a pigeon. Same way, I have a desire to eat non-veg, and I'm not able to come over it. I'll be given a body of a tiger or a non-veg eating animal. That's a promotion in terms of my desire to enjoy that activity more. But we all know that Krishna is telling that that is demotion, because you are wasting your time. You're enjoying more and more, simply because the soul has accepted this matter, and matter in the form of taste, tongue, and all these elements surrounding us are provoking us to go in a direction. The whole spiritual life is to come out of that provocation of the material world and focus towards spiritual aspects. That is why the body wants you to sleep and take rest, but the rules of spiritual world tells you to wake up early in the morning. The body wants you to be glorified by making yourself look good. So we put, to remove our attraction to our own face, we put tilaka. That's what I have heard in class, and that's what devotees tell. You put tilaka on the face so that you become a devotee, and you are reminded that you are Vishnu follower, Krishna's follower. So you tend to, and when you put tilaka and come to the temple, everybody will look at your tilaka and consider you as a devotee. That in itself is a blessing and boon to us. I will give you a very perfect example. I spoke to many people. After Corona, they were not removing their mask. I asked them the question, and I think I also felt the same thing. And my relative, little elder to me, and I said, after Corona is gone, why are you still wearing mask? He says, my transactions in the material world are faster when I wear a mask. Nobody judged by my face, nobody judged by my skin color, and nobody is judging by how I am looking, because everybody feels, oh, he's wearing mask, so I'm covered. And I saw that when I'm going to a shop, buying something and coming out was faster than when I was removing mask and going, because then people respond to the way I look, people respond to the way I am talking, and sometimes, I may be sad, but my sadness is not portrayed to other person, so he takes me with the mask. You see, this is a very big realization, and I was thrilled to know this. And then I also tried thinking about it, and it's true. So these all elements are in the process of destruction and construction around us in the form of our body. They are taking us in the other direction. So we have to use the two tools of Yogmaya and Mahamaya. So these elements, what you see, fire, air, sky, ether, tongue, are these instruments. If you use Mahamaya, they take you further towards the creation of the Lord. You use Mahamaya, Yogmaya, it takes you and your face moves towards the Lord. Now the choice is between each soul, whether they already surrounded by so many energies with this body, I am supposed to use the Mahamaya or the Yogmaya. This is the whole, because that's what we read a couple of shlokas back. So this is how slowly Parikshit Maharaj is being given the knowledge of detachment, because he was supposed to leave the body in next 7 days. And so Sukdev Goswami is actually factually telling him, give your detachment as a king, give your detachment as a body, give your detachment as a father or the planet ruler or something, just focus on Krishna. Exactly, that is what Maitreya and Vidura are discussing. And Vidura is meeting Maitreya after leaving, after the war of Kurukshetra. And his brother leaves for the Vana, where he takes the Agni, the Trashra, he sends him out, and the Gandhari jumps on to his pyre, and then he also wants to go away and try to gain knowledge. He's actually walking towards Badrika Ashram, and that is why in between, and here he is meeting Maitra Muni and getting the messages of Krishna. So amazing is this, the whole Sonam Bonam is they are all making an effort to come out of the attachment of this material world. Let's go and read another shloka. 3.6.3.
Shobha Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Mataji, Hari Bol, Dandavat Pranam Mataji.
Translation, Navkishori Mataji will read, Mataji. You can read the sloka.
So, Anuptavishto Bhagavan Chetarupena Thamtanam Bhinnam Yojayam Asha Uttham Karma Prabodaya. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Mataji, Hari Bol. Was I audible?
Yes, Mataji. Navkishori Mataji,
Hari.
translation. Divya Desai Mataji, please read the translation.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thus, when the personality of Godhead entered into the elements by his energy, all the living entities were enlivened into different activities, just as one is engaged in his work after awakening from sleep. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Divisha Mataji, you can read the purport, Mataji, first paragraph.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Prabhuji Dhanvat Pranam, Prabhupada ki jai. Every individual soul remains unconscious after dissolution of creation and thus enters into Lord with his material energy. These individual living entities are conditioned soul everlastingly. But in each and every material creation, they are given a chance to liberate themselves and become free souls. They are all given a chance to take advantage of Vedic wisdom and find out what is their relationship with the Supreme Lord, how they can be liberated, and what the ultimate profit is in such liberation. By properly studying the Vedas, one becomes conscious of his position and thus takes to the transcendental devotional service of the Lord and is gradually promoted to the spiritual sky. The individual souls in the material world engage in different activities according to their past unfinished desires. After the dissolution of a particular body, the individual soul forgets everything, but the all merciful Lord, who is situated in everyone's heart, as witness, the Supreme Soul awakens him and reminds him of his past desires, and thus he begins to act accordingly in his next life. This unseen guidance is described as fate, and sensible man can understand that this continues his material bondage in the three modes of the nature. Hare Krishna Mataji Prabhuji Dhanvat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Navkishori
Hare
Mataji,
Krishna.
you can.
Yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki purport by Srila Prabhupada, Dandavat Prabhuji. The unconscious sleeping stage of the living just after the partial end or total dissolution of the creation is wrongly accepted as the final stage of life by some less intelligent philosophers. After the dissolution of the partial material body, a living entity remains unconscious for only a few months, and after the total dissolution of the material creation, he remains unconscious for many millions of years. But when the creation is again revived, he is awakened to his work by the Lord. The living entity is eternal, and the wakeful state of his consciousness manifested by activities in his natural condition of life. He cannot stop acting while awake, and thus he acts according to his diverse desires. When he desire are trained in the transcendental service of the Lord, his life becomes perfect, and he is promoted to the spiritual sky to enjoy eternal awakened life. Hare Krishna Mataji, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanavad. Thank you.
Sorry. I said we can take to the next sloka also, Mataji. Time is less, then we
Okay,
can conclude.
sure. Radhika Mataji, could you read the next sloka? Radhika Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. प्रबुद्ध कर्मा दैवेन त्रयोविंशातिको गणः
प्रेरितो जनयत् स्वाभिर् मात्राभिरधिपूरुषम्. Hare Krishna.
Gayatri Mataji, read the translation, please.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. When the 23 principal elements were set in action by the will of the Supreme, the gigantic universal form or the Vishwarupa body of the Lord came into existence. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Divya Koko Mataji can read the purport.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The Virat Rupa or Vishwarupa, the gigantic universal form of the Lord, which is very much appreciated by the impersonalist, is not an eternal form of the Lord. It is manifested by the supreme will of the Lord after the ingredients of material creation. Lord Krishna exhibited this Virat or Vishwarupa to Arjuna just to convince the impersonalist that he is the original personality of Godhead. Krishna exhibited the Virat Rupa. It is not that Krishna was exhibited by the Virat Rupa. The Virat Rupa is not therefore an eternal form of the Lord exhibited in the spiritual sky. It is a material manifestation of the Lord. The Archa Vigraha or the worshipable deity in the temple is a similar manifestation of the Lord for the neophytes. But in spite of their material touch, such forms of Lord as the Virat and Archa are all not different from his eternal form as Lord Krishna. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So if you notice, that's what we were reading in the beginning, and these shlokas are exactly speaking the same, that all these energies are just taking away from the Lord. And you can always ask a question, why Krishna so many difficulties to me? Why in this? See, when we were in the spiritual world, okay, let me put it like this. If I tell you, you have 100 rupees and I take your 100 rupees and give you 50 rupees, will you accept it? And answer is why? If I take from all you, whatever devotees are present here, if I take 100 rupees from you and give you only 50 rupees back, will you accept it, that bargain?
No, Prabhu.
No. Why? Because you say I'll be at a loss of 50 rupees. So when we were in the spiritual world, why will we accept material world, which is at a loss? It's a waste of time. Simple. Ask this question to your own self. Let's ask to us. When we were in spiritual world, why will I accept a loss by coming to this material world? So the reason is that when we are in the material world, we take Krishna casually. So and we start taking Krishna so casually that he brings us to a lower position, so that we understand what is his value. So he puts us in a place of loss, and he puts us in a loss place, means in a loss bargain. And that is why Prabhupada used to say material world is the worst bargain, but make use of its best use of the worst bargain. It's a bargain between us and the Lord. But Prabhupada used to say, make best use of this worst bargain of this material world. Now, why material world is worst? There can be 100 reasons. But those who have got everything in this world and who don't have knowledge, they don't know that material world is problem giving. But even the richest of the richest person with all the suvidhas and all the what I should say, all the beauties of life at his one command and wish, also knows somewhere, I'm not happy in this world. The most good looking person also has the most fearful thought that he will lose his beauty. The most fearful thing for a beautiful lady or a man is to lose his youth, or a youthful man is to know that he's losing his youth. That's a very big, lot of people feel lot of, and that is why this cosmetic industry is growing, because they don't want to accept this fact. So material world is a worst bargain, but we have to make of the best use. Now we are here. So we didn't accept this material world on its own. Our interactions with the Lord made us being demoted to this condition so that we resume our intensity of our outlook towards the Lord. That is the only thing which Lord wants. In the material world, that is why quality of devotion is matter, not the quantity. Smaller service of doing chappal seva in a temple can supersede the deity seva. The chappal stand of the Lord in a temple, Venkateshwara Swami or whichever our Krishna is gone temple, during Janmashtami, you see chappal stand is there, and some devotee it must be cleaning the chappal stand. That activity of the Lord's temple of improving the chappal stand or keeping the chappals properly is nothing but deity dressing. It has same relevance, because the idea of doing these two services of deity dressing and keeping the chappals properly, or I go one more below, keeping the toilet of a temple clean, is same as keeping the altar clean, because both the activities are for the Lord and his devotees. You clean the Lord so that others can take good darshan of the Lord. Now, darsh means, the word darsh means itself one whose face is like moonlight and very beautiful. So when you look at that face, you say, I am looking to the darsh of the Lord. That process is called as darshan. It has nothing to do with darshan. It means to look at the face of the Lord and derive purity and pleasure. So the deity of the Lord has to be cleaned and painted after some years, just so that the devotees can derive the pleasure of the Lord. And that is why I do deity dressing on Wednesday of once in a month. And whenever I go and I say I'm doing this worshipping service and deity dressing and worshipping Pujari Seva, we are doing with that attitude that we want to make the Lord so beautiful that everybody coming to the temple in Mangal Aarti should be attracted towards the Lord. Then the purpose of deity dressing is fulfilled. Same way, the chappal stand, if not kept properly, then the visitors coming, they will feel if the chappal stand is not proper, what they will be keeping the Lord. So Lord is very dynamic. And that is the reason why he has created a temple environment to teach us. So all this teaches us that these are the various energies of the Lord. We are stuck in a place which is under the process of destruction and construction. Make use of every minute present in this world. That's all what Krishna is expecting us. So he's looking at us individually, at all the devotees. You cannot go to the Goluka holding anybody's hand and say, I'm going. Come, let's go to Goluka. You cannot. However, I like my wife, or my wife and me, myself like, or I like my son, we cannot go and go to Goluka. It is individual resurrection. At our different time, place, circumstances, everybody has their own last time reserved in this world based on our karma and everything. But as we know that when we come in the association of devotees, we change ourselves, we learn these tricks, we learn these beautiful process of Krishna consciousness, so that when Krishna feels we are ready to go, he will pull us. Is there any confusion in this?
No, Prabhuji, very clear.
So this is the process of Krishna consciousness, which Shukdev Goswami is telling to, one second. I'm sorry for this disturbance. So this process is the same what is being told by Shukdev Goswami to Parikshit Maharaj, and he's relating the same message of Vidura to Vidura by Maitri Muni, or to Krishna, to Arjuna, or to Krishna, Bhishma Pitama, to Yudhishthira after the battle. And even this knowledge, and even Duryodhana was shown this supreme universal form, which we have discussed in the last shloka, was even shown to Duryodhana, but he took it in a reverse way, in a negative way. He thought that he's just, because he was so focused on material pleasures, he forgot the advantage of spiritual life. That's the only thing. He was a very able king, but because of the sangat, because of the association of Shakuni, he got corrupt. So association matters. And so this world, so the books, the way you read the books, you read garbage books, you will get garbage. You see garbage websites, you will get garbage. You talk bad about others, bad will happen with you. It's very simple. This energies of the Lord work to purify us. But if you don't accept that purity, impurities will come, because there's no need for you see your shirt, you just wear it. This is a very clean kurta, but if I remove it, even it has become only 1 hour of this class, and my kurta will look and smell as if I have worn it for a couple of hours. That's the problem with these energies of the Lord. And that's why Lord says, rise above these energies of mine. You don't have to understand so much. Just simple Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Simply chant and get resurrected. Hare Krishna. Om Tat Sat, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I'm done, Mataji. Oh.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for the wonderful class as usual. Next time, looking forward to hearing your Mridanga too. Be blessed. We of course got to saw the. Yeah. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. If any devotees have any questions, yes, Sunita Mataji, please go on.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, you said that below Viraja river, Viraja ocean, everything annihilates. But this Brahma Jyoti comes above the Viraja ocean. So this Mayavadis goes and they merge with the effulgence of the Lord. But why do they fall down, Prabhuji? They get Sayuja Mukti, but they fall down because it is above Viraja ocean. So I'm just asking.
Yeah. So below the Viraja river is the causal ocean. Now, causal ocean is Garbhodakshaya Vishnu residing, and within the Garbhodakshaya, the Shirodakshaya Vishnu is there, and within that, the destruction portion. So let me put little more detailed below the Viraja river, what happens. Then we'll come to your question, because it is giving a message that below the Viraja river, everything is getting changed. No. Below the Viraja river, if you see the universal diagram, is a causal ocean. In that, Shirodakshaya Vishnu is there, because causal ocean in English is known as Shir Sagar, which is known. And so the Vishnu which presides over the Shir Sagar is Shirodakshaya Vishnu. And so he enters into every atom as Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. And so he is the same who enters into also as a Paramatma, 7-inch Vishnu in our hearts also. Now he's sitting as a witness. So nothing below, not everything below the Viraja river is changing. It's just from the pores of Mahavishnu lying on the Shirodakshaya Vishnu, the pores, the universes are coming out with his exhale and inhale, it is going. What these normal day-to-day scientists say as Big Bang, they feel everything is coming out from single point and going back into the single point, is because they can't visualize Vishnu. So this thing is like this. So I just wanted to complete this since you asked this question. Now this is the factual point. Now coming off what gets changed So these universes with the annihilation and exhalation change, and the planet Earth, and then they get created and destroyed. That much only is the part of the material world which is temporary. Otherwise, even below the Viraja river, all causal ocean remains like that. Now, the other point is of the devotees, or those who are liking towards the Lord. They do go to the Brahma Jyoti part. Vadanti tattattam vidas tattam yaj jnanam advayam brahmeti brahmatmeti bhagwan iti shabdyate. So why they are fallen from? So first of all, those who think Krishna is formless in the end, they go to this Jyoti because they feel Krishna is like a Jyoti, some power, and they want to annihilate their physical presence or their individuality and merge into Krishna. They feel by doing this, they have achieved success. Correct? So your question is, why do they let's try to see why do they desire like that? Because there can be some desire where because they are taught that if you become very good, you become God. Correct? I know some of the sampradayas, not the valid sampradayas. Some of the local people who are preaching, they call each other as Bhagwan. So what's your name, Mataji?
Sunita Prabhuji.
So they will refer to you, we referred as Mataji. Their congregation, they will refer you as Smita Mataji, Minakshi Mataji, Padma Mataji, Divya Mataji, and sorry, your name you said?
Sunita.
Sunita Bhagwan, Minakshi Bhagwan, Padma Bhagwan, Divya Bhagwan, Premadata Bhagwan. They call each souls as Bhagwan. I know them. My very close relative goes to this, and whenever she meets me, she also says, "Tu bhi to Bhagwan hai." And I keep quiet because she's very elder to me, so I just keep quiet because we have some relation. She's my relative. She's my Chachi ji, Chachi, my father's younger brother's wife. So she's very respectable for me. I can tell her to a certain extent. After that, I'm like a baby to her. So I cannot say anything more, but I know where she's calling me. Although I am part and parcel of Krishna, but we refrain ourselves calling as Bhagwan. Why? Because in the Mayavadi philosophy, they feel the final result of our devotion is merging with Krishna. Because if Krishna is so great, I can become so great, I'm one with him. So with this feeling, what happens is, look towards Krishna now. Krishna is there. He created the soul. Now your question is, now let's address your question. So I tried answering why they feel that way. Because there are so many tendencies, they want to equate themselves with Krishna. They feel that can only happen if we merge. And I forget myself completely into the Lord. Now no movement. You see this, what I'm doing? Krishna, I love you, I love you. In Brahma Jyoti, what will I do? What will I get? Now I want to forget. I want to be in this stage. Now, how long I can be in this stage? I am doing an acting, Mataji. Just to tell you that I want that kind of mukti where I want to become so good, so good. What else? You can't become better than Krishna, so merge with him. That feeling comes. Usko sahujiya bolo, sahajiya bhav bolo, whatever you say. When you try to become your individuality, merge with Krishna. It's a very important question, Mataji. Now see, I'm acting. I say, I Krishna, I love you, and I go and I hug him and I keep hugging all the time. Sunita Mataji here, Premadata meets Krishna. And I hug Krishna all the time. Is it possible? Your son or a daughter comes to you, Mummy, I love you, and she keeps hugging you all the time. Will that be possible? You will ask him, go, Arey, bas ho gaya, jao, nahao, do, kaam karo apna. I'm there with you. Now you are my daughter, get married. Now after marriage also, she comes and glued to you all the time. Arey, to fir apni family kab palegi? You getting my point, Mataji? So they want to negate their families which were surrounded them by, they don't know because they are in the material world.
They are also the ones who are in the spiritual world. They have their families, their everything very permanently happening. But because they got stuck with, they took Krishna for granted, they came in this material world, and in this material world, they finally understood they still have not realized that Goluk is there. My original family is there. Krishna wants me to interact over there. Krishna talks to me the way Premadata is talking to Sunita Mataji. Or Premadata is giving class. You are hearing how individually we are interacting. And then you will switch off. You will go in your life. I'll go in my life. Then we'll come again, interact. That is what we do in spiritual world. Correct?
Yes,
We don't go to spiritual world and keep holding Krishna's hand all the time. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. How will he work? So it's that world is very practical. So like how you tell your daughter and son, okay, I love you, but now go to school, do your work. Then you have another child, Krishna has so many children. So these people, because they have not realized Goluk Vrindavan and the individual identity exists in Goluka, they think material world is all and all. And after material world, because they are becoming so pure that for them material world has no significance, they feel I have become so good, and they don't know about Goluka, they will go and merge in Brahman. Because they felt that is the final thing of Krishna. But where they could have gone, one more step ahead, Bhagavan iti shabdyate. So these Brahman is the third level of realization, Mataji. Then they have to come back and realize, oh, there is some Lord who is Paramatma, individual in my heart. And through the Paramatma Gyan, they go back to Goluka, where they understand that I am an individual entity. I have to go and interact with Krishna separately. That is why they are brought back in the material world, to resurrect back to the Goluka.
Yeah, it is above the Viraja ocean, no, Prabhuji? So only I got confused.
So
Brahmajyoti
yes.
is above Viraja ocean, no?
So they have to come back again. So what? Till the time you don't reach Goluk Vrindavan, your journey is not done.
Complete.
And that too, devotees don't even go to any other Vaikuntha Loka. They want only Goluka, where Shyam Sundar Roop is there. Like Bhishma Pitama, this is now getting into a zone where we can keep on discussing. So there are people like Bhishma Pitama wanted to see Krishna in the form of Narayana in the end. You must have heard about Bhishma Pitama. So he goes to Narayana Loka. So there are Dhruv Maharaj goes to Dhruva Loka. So these are all devotees who are there like that. But me and you normal people, we have to go back to Goluka. So like that, we must know that after going even beyond the Viraja river, the success is not Ayodhya Dham, Madhurya Dham. The success is not Sadashiva Dham. Even Viraja river, Sadashiva Dham is the first. You can go and stay there also, but you have to come down. So that is so the devotees, they learn the art to go to Goluka. That is why in the universal diagram, so that the devotees know where to go, you will see a Hare Krishna Mahamantra written. If that universal diagram is, have you seen in ISKCON? It will show a Mahamantra being written going to the lotus feet of the Lord. So our focus is the Pada Charana Ravindam. We are going to the lotus feet of Krishna. We are going to the lotus like Goluka. Inside there, we focus on the lotus feet of Krishna and Radharani, so that we are not attracted elsewhere, and then go back into the kingdom from where our original families are there, and we are thinking these are family. Yesterday, I was reading Canto 6. It talks about how people get attracted to all the material aspects, and they forget their real place in Goluka. Like that. Is it okay, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Makes things clear?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, this merging into this Brahmajyoti is called moksha, right?
They call it as moksha, but it's a temporary stage. You have to again come down, as what Mataji and we were discussing.
Yes.
Sunita Mataji's question was simply this.
Yes.
That is moksha temporary from this material world. But you have to come back and realize Krishna.
Yeah.
Now, but But if you ask me, can Krishna take me from there to Krishna can take you from hell directly to Goluka? Can Krishna not do that? Then he is not God. So you cannot challenge Krishna. Krishna, now I am stuck in Narka. I have to go to material world. Krishna comes and meets you in Narka and says, no, come back to Goluka. No, your process is, hey, I am the one who is created process, or you will define your own process. So Krishna is the ultimate decision maker for all of us. It's a top to bottom. In the animal form of Gajendra, like that, right? He is remembering Krishna. Ajamila remembered Krishna, where he was a debauchee. Like that, you never know what may happen. In the end, everything is superseded by Krishna. Like one of my very senior devotee was telling, you do whatever. Krishna, if he wants from you, he will push you, throw you. He will take things from you what he wants from you. I have experienced the same thing. If Krishna wants something from you, you really cannot do anything about it. If you know some art, you know some painting, you know some playing mridangam or music, he will make sure that, if he wants to listen flute from Sunita Mataji or Mataji you, or any Padma Mataji, Divya, or Shri Krishna Prabhu or Rakesh Prabhu, anybody, any good quality, if Krishna wants from you, he will take it from you. He will make you learn flute and play flute. That's how it is like that. So you make yourself available for Krishna by going to temple and chanting Hare Krishna. That's the point.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for the wonderful class. With your
I think we have
permission,
gone.
we'll end
Yeah,
the
we
session
have
with
gone.
Vaishnav Pranam.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Dandat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः अनन्तकोटि वैष्णववृन्द की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय श्री भागवतम की जय Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Looking forward to this session again soon.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you so much,
Prabhuji.
devotees.
Thank you so much,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Wonderful
Hare
session.
Krishna.
Krishna
So
Prabhuji.
you have taken us somewhere else. I am grateful to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji,
Prabhuji,
for the
shall I
wonderful
end the
lecture.
session with
It was
permission?
really very nice.
Thank
Very
you.
informative, Prabhuji. Thank you so
Please
much.
bless me, Mataji. Please bless me.
Hare Krishna.
Pray for
Dandavat
me.
Pranam,
Krishna.
Prabhuji. Wonderful
Hare
session.
Krishna.
Shall I end the session, Prabhuji, with your
Yes,
permission?
Mataji. Yes, Mataji. Please.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare